Hello everyone, this is the second video of our playlist of learning Python from basics to advanced level. I am Shriya Keshri and I will be helping you in understanding all the concepts in these videos. This is the second video of our series, and in this video we are going to learn about the data types, input, output and operators. Okay. In the last video, we have learned about variables and identifiers. These were the names of the container which store data values. We had also learned about the rules for naming them legally in Python. Next, we had covered about comments that are non-executable notes which are basically ignored by the interpreter. It is used to explain code and improve readability for developers. Then we learned keywords. These are the reserved words with special predefined meanings in Python. Next, we learned about assignment statement using the equal to operator. We use it to bind a value or expression result directly to a variable name. In this video, we are going to cover what are data types and its categories. Then we will cover numeric data types, that is int, float and complex number. Then there is a collection type, that is list, tuple, set and dictionary. Next, we will be covering type conversion, in which we will learn how we convert one data type to another one. Then there is input statement where we are getting to next there is input statement where we are getting a particular user input, and we are also going to learn about output statement where we are going to print our messages in the terminal or in the output. Next we are going to cover arithmetic operators and assignment operators. So let's start the video. So the first topic is what are data types. So data types specify the kind of value a variable can store. For example, if we write a is equal to 10, right? Then data types tells us what this a variable, what kind of value this a variable can store. It tells the interpreter how a memory should be allocated. So 1 second, So if I write a is equal to 10, then basically the data types tell the interpreter that we have to store an integer value. Okay, this information is specified by the data types. So Python has some built-in data types. First one is the numeric, in which we are going to store some kind of numbers. It may be int, float or complex. Then we have sequence where we are going to store some collection of numbers or any other data types we will be covering in later. Then we have set data types, or we have dictionary where we are going to map values together. Then we have Boolean data types, and there are some binary or special data types. So first one, Okay. So here, the first one is the numeric category, where we have int, float, and complex. This represent numbers. Maybe it can be whole or decimal or can be imaginary. Then we have sequence, that is string, list, or tuple. They have ordered collection of items or characters. Then we have set. Set have unordered collection of unique items. Then we also do mapping in dictionary, where we have key value pair. Then there is Boolean, which stores truth values, that is true or false. Then there is special, that is the none type, and it represents an absence of value when there is no value, right? Okay. First, let us consider integer data types. So in this data type, we are going to store whole numbers without any decimal points. Okay. So there can be negative integers or positive integer or zero, but no fractional or decimal part. Here, for example, there is a is equal to 15, b is equal to minus 100, and c is equal to 0. And when we are printing this a, b, and c, we are getting 15, minus 100, or 0, right? Why? Because this 15, minus 100, and 0 are all the integer data type. 15 is a positive integer, minus 100 is a negative integer, and 0 is 0 itself. Okay, so in integer data type, we won't be having any decimal points. Next is the floating point. In float data type, we consider all of those decimal numbers or scientific exponent notation. For example, here we are storing price is equal to 99.99. Here 0.99 shows the decimal parts. So this is a floating point. The price is equal to 99.99. Pi is equal to 3.14159. These all are the float points, right? Because they have decimal parts. So this is the float data type. Next one is the complex number. We have learned complex number in mathematics itself. We also have a similar data type in Python also, where we have a real part and an imaginary part. And this j indicates under root minus 1. It's the same like how we study in maths. So if I write z is equal to 3 plus 4z, then the complex number is z itself, and the real part is 3. We can print it by z dot real, and the imaginary part is z dot image. Okay, so this is it. Next, we have the Boolean data type. Its short form is bool, and it stores truth values, that is true or false. So whenever we write some kind of expression that needs some kind of truth values, we have Boolean data types, such as we are including is greater is equal to 5 greater than 3. Then we know that 5 is greater than 3, that is the answer will be true. So is greater will print true. And if we check this type, then it will be Boolean type. Okay. Right. Next is the none data type. So the none object is used to signal the absence of a value or a none difference. That means we have made a variable and we have appointed some kind of memory, but we have not placed anything inside that memory. That memory is empty. So a valid number representing numeric zero value. So 0 is an integer. We know that 0 is an integer, but 0 represents something. Right. But here we have null and empty string. So what are the non data type that we consider here? So the first one is 0. 0 indicates that we know that 0 means nothing is there, right? So it is a valid number which represents numeric 0 value. Then we have empty string, a valid string instance with 0 length. There is nothing inside it, but we have just considered that there will be a string or there is a string for now. Okay. Next is the none type, indicates empty state or no value assigned at all. So here there is none, where we are not specifying what kind of data type we are going to put inside it further. But right now there is just a memory allocated to it. We are not placing anything inside. X is equal to none, and if we are going to check the type, then it will print null. Now, if we want to check the type of a particular variable or its value, then we are going to use this type function. For example, here we have A is equal to 10, B is equal to 3.14, C is equal to hello, D is equal to true, E is equal to null. Now we are printing these values. Print type A. So here what is getting printed? Class int, that is 10 is integer. Then we print type B. This is a decimal point, so the output is class float. Next we have type C. C is hello. So in the console we are getting class string. So this is how type function works. Before we get type conversion, I want us to practice a bit, okay? So let me. Yeah. So we are going to check it out ourselves. Okay, so the first data type that we studied was integer, right? Here I am assigning the value 10 to a variable a. I can also do negative integer or I can use 0, right? So these three are the integer values. Okay. Next we have covered about the decimal values. Yeah. So these decimal values, this will be float. Let me remove something. Yeah. Next, we learned about the Boolean variables. Let me say this. Okay, this will consider the Boolean. What did we learn? Yeah, we also learned about the none data type, and we learned about string data type. Yeah. So these are all the data types that we have covered so far. These three are integer. This shows the float. This is the Boolean data type. This one is the none data type, and this one is the string. String data types basically store any kind of characters, such as here I am writing my own name. These are the letters. So this is string, and strings are always enclosed by this double quotes. Okay. So coming back here. So this was the numeric, then the sequence. Okay. So these are all the data types. Now let us check it out. I told you using the type function, we can see what the data type of a particular variable value is. See, when I'm printing the type of A, it says class int. Int means integer. If I write print, print type B, what will it say? It again says int. Okay. Next, I have print type of C. What will it say? It again is saying, what did I do? What did I do? Yeah. Now it will run. Yeah, it. So just as we discussed, A, B, and C, all the three of them are integers. Then we have print type D. Then what will it say? D is none type. No, it's a float while it's saying none type. Okay, so it's saying none. Oh, here. See, I have used D twice. Let me change it here. Yeah. So this D is using D is equal to none. That's why it's saying the none type. Or wait, let me correct it out. Yep. Now it will run. So yeah. Now D is showing the float data type, right? Similarly, if I will check this E, then it's showing bool. Why? Because 5 is greater than 6 will answer to false, right? And false is a boolean value. And G is a none type, just as we said. And lastly, we have F, that is string. Okay, so this is what we have covered so far in data types. Oh, wait. This complex is left. So let us do this too. So yeah, it says complex. Now we are covering everything we have learned so far. Okay, so the next topic is type conversion. So, see, if I'm saying a is equal to 10, I'm assigning a value to a that is 10, and I am also saying that here, since the value is 10, the data type is integer. But what if I do not want it to be integer? I want it to be string. Okay. So we need to change the data type from one to another. So then comes the type conversion, or we also call it type casting. Type conversion is a process of converting a value from one data type to another. So what? Yeah. So we convert one data type to another. We may convert integer to string or string to integer. So for this, we use type conversion or typecasting. There are two ways by which we can do it. The first one is the implicit way, and the second one is the explicit way. So the implicit way is performed automatically by Python to prevent data loss when mixing types. So this is, yeah. See here. I have assigned m is equal to a minus b. What happens here? We are not telling it the value simply, or we are not telling what a or b is. We are not telling the data type of a and b. What the Python interpreter does here, it says that a is equal to 10, which is an integer, b is equal to minus 28, which is also an integer. So it will take both the values and it will calculate the answer, and it will also automatically assign the data type of m to be integer. So if I check here print type of m, it will say integer. How is this happening? This is the automatic way by which the interpreter works in Python. It prevents data loss when mixing types. It's not that when we are calculating m, the data type of a or b is getting lost. No, this the interpreter uses both the data types of them to automatically assign a data type to the variable m. Next is the explicit conversion, performed manually by programmer using built-in function like int, float, string, right? So here we all know that 10 is an integer, right? But what if I want to change the data type of a to another data type? Let us say I want to change the integer data type to float. Then what will I do? I will use this function, float function, and I will enclose a inside it. Okay. And after doing this, if I'll print the type of p, then what will I get? Float. Earlier a was integer, but when I use this float function on a, it is changing its data type and converting it into float. If I print a simply here, no, a p, right? Then see here, it is not 10, it is 10.0. It has automatically made it into a decimal point. Earlier it was integer, but now it is a float. Hence its data type is changed as well. So this is what type conversion is. We are changing one data type to another one. In the example here, I changed integer to float. We can also change float to string, or we can change string to integer. Let us take another example. Here d is a float, we know that, right? Let us change it into a string. Yeah. And now I'll print type of q. Yes. What will it print? Now it is string. Earlier id was a float number, but now when I use this string function over the d, then I'm getting the type of q as class of string. And if I print q, then what will I get here? 3.68. If you see here, the appearance doesn't change here. Why? Because it was float, the number looks the same, but the data types is changed internally. Okay. So this is it. We have covered the type conversion, typecasting, and both the methods of it. Next, we are going to learn it in a bit details. Implicit type conversion. Python automatically converts smaller data types to larger data type to avoid loss of data during operation. In the example here, we are taking an integer number 10 and we are taking a float number 2.5. And when we add both of them and we print the type of result, we are getting float. How do we do that? There is 10, which is an integer. Then we have 2.5 that is float. So when it adds both of them, the interpreter automatically chooses the larger data types so that the result variable will have a data type suitable. Okay, so here it chooses float data type and hence the result variable has the type of class float. So this is the implicit data type conversion, and then there is explicit data type where we use this function to change a variable. We can use int function to convert to integer. Then we have float function that converts to a float. Then we have string that converts to a string. And this is boolean function where we convert to boolean data type. For example, here s is 25 and by this double quotes, we know that 25 here is not an integer, it is a string. Here we use int, so the string 25 is converted into an integer 25, and if we use float, then this integer 25 is converted to float 25.0. Okay, so if I print n plus 5, so if I print n plus 5 comma this sign, and we have this n here, so integer 25 is getting added by 5, so it is 35 now. This sign is printed as it is, and the float value, that is 2.25.0, is printed here. So this is explicit type conversion. Here we are going to understand the common conversion error that one can do. Attempting to convert an incompatible string containing non-numeric character into a number is a runtime error. So see, text is equal to hello. Hello is a string. Acha, if I want to convert this string into an integer, it need to make sense, right? If I do this, if I use this int function over text that is hello, how can hello be converted into any number? Right. So this will cause a runtime error because hello can't be converted into an integer. So what does it say? It says that incompatible string containing non-numeric character can't be changed into a number. Occurs when a function receives an argument with the right types but an invalid value. Text here itself is a right type, but the value here hello is not valid for the type conversion into integer. Okay, so we have covered our first topic of type conversion and learning the basic data types. Now we are going to understand about the introduction to collections. Okay, give me a minute. Okay. Now let's start with the next topic, that is introduction to collections. Now we use this collection words in our day-to-day life. And what does collection means? It is basically a group of multiple items, right? So Python also provides some container which can contain different items together. So Python also provides a built-in container types to group multiple items under a single variable name. So in our earlier example, I have shown you that we use a variable and store a typical value inside it, right? But in this case of collection, we are using the simple variable name, but we store multiple item inside it. For example, let me clear this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And if I put 8, Okay, so now A stores four value here. 1, 2, 3, 4. A stores four value, and when I'm printing A, it is showing four of these values in the output. So now A doesn't have the single value, but it has a group of multiple items. So in this example, A is a list. A is a list that is ordered and mutable. Then we have another collection data type that is tuple. Then we have set and we have dictionary. All of them are used for different function and we will be covering each of them in detail. Okay. Okay. The first one is the list data type. List data type is ordered. What does ordered mean here? It means that each of these values have certain position. I.e., if I write it like this, so here both of these lists are not same. Why? Because these are of different order. The order is important here. Why? Because each of this number has an insertion sequence. One comes at the zeroth position, then the two comes at the first, four is the third, and three is in the fourth position, right? But here we have 3 and 4 in different position, hence the order is different, so we can't say these lists are the same. So it needs to be ordered. Then we have mutable, that if I want to change a particular value here, I can change it. Okay. Next we have duplicates, that if I want, I can have duplicate values. This is allowed. So if I run it, it won't give any error because duplicates are allowed in list and it is enclosed in square brackets. This is just as I did here. Okay. So here is an example. Marks is the variable here and it stores 80, 90 and 95 here. So if I will print marks, then it is going to print the whole list here. And if I want to print a particular value, then I can also print it using this. I will help you understand this as well. Let's get in back to our compiler. Okay. So let us consider that example, and we had 80, 90 and 95, right? So in Python list, we have an order by which the values are inserted inside a list, and it doesn't start with 1, it starts with 0. So 80 is on the 0th position, then 90 is on the first position, and 95 on the second. And if I will have more values, then it will get inserted in that way only. So if I want to approach a value at particular index, then I can simply write it like this. And if I'll run it, it will print the value stored in that index. So what I am doing here, I'm saying that in the list marks, I want to get the value which is inserted on the 0th index. So it will go to 0 index, it will check the value, and it will print the value in the output, right? I can also print the values in other indexes. Yeah. So what is it doing? For the 0 index, it's printing 80. Then for first index, it's printing 90. And for the second index, it's printing 95. Okay. So what does this index means here? It means that the order is important. The order by which the value is getting inserted, the index is getting appointed to each value, right? And it can next it says that it is mutable. So let me show you how we do it. So we write it like this 99. Okay, so what does this statement means? We are saying that marks is a list basically, and you have to go to the 0 index and you have to make this value from 80 to 99. So now if I print marks 0. So what will it print now? It is printing 99. Why? Because now I'm changing the value on the zeroth index and to 99. So earlier it was 80, now it's 99. Why? Because I changed it. So this means that list can be modified or changed. The item inside it can be modified or changed, hence it is mutable. Next, the duplicates. I told you already that if I want, I can store as many duplicate values as I want, and if I'll print it, I'll print the list itself. See, no error because duplicates are allowed, and we always enclose it in the square bracket. Lists are indicated by the square brackets as well. So this was the list data type. Then we have tuple data type. What is the difference? The first difference that you will see here in the way that we write it is this, that we do not use square bracket anymore. Now we are going to use round brackets. Okay. So it use parenthesis or the round brackets. It is ordered just as we learned in the list. The positions are fixed, but it is immutable. In the list data types, we could change the value of one particular item, but now we can't. The values cannot be altered after creation. Okay. It says the faster read performance than list, since it can't be changed. The reading performance it's faster. Okay, and it is enclosed in the parenthesis. So in the example here, what is getting changed is that now the values are enclosed in the parenthesis. If we print it, it prints the tuple like this, and if I print the type of this, then it says tuple class. So what makes it different from list is that list can be changed. The item in list can be changed, so it is mutable. But the items in tuple can't be changed. It is immutable. Next is set data type. So set data type says that it is unordered. Earlier in both list and tuple, we learned that the order matters. The sequence by which the values are getting inserted, that matters. But in set data types, it doesn't matter. It can be unordered. It doesn't change anything. The next thing that is important in set data types is that it doesn't allow duplicates here. In list or tuple, duplicates were allowed, right? But in set, it is not allowed. It will result in an error if I do it. Useful for mathematical set operation. We have learned about sets in math, right? We used to perform union, intersection, and joins in those sets, right? So we can also use those set operations here in Python. So Python set is very important and is very helpful in programming, and it is enclosed by curly braces. So far we learned that in list we have square brackets, in tuple we have parenthesis, and in set we have curly brackets. Okay, so let me do it here. So nums is our variable. In the curly bracket, I am going to store as many values as I want, and there doesn't need to be any order in which I am going to store it. And the other thing that we have to learn here is that it doesn't allow duplicate values. For example, I have stored 2 twice here. That means there is a duplicate. So if I will try to run it, see, the 2 is not getting repeated here. It automatically removes 2 here. And see, it is also changing the order. I had 45 and 9, and it has changed it to 9, 45. That means the order doesn't affect here. So it is unordered. It doesn't let us get duplicates, and it can also be used with union and intersection. So we will be also performing those set operations here. Okay, the next data type is the dictionary data type. This is one of the most important data types, and it is all different from list, tuple, and set because here we are storing two values together. We have key value pairs. So there is a key and we have a value assigned to it. And these keys must be unique and immutable. First, look upon keys defined using curly braces with colons. Okay. So let me tell you what this is. Acha. This dictionary data types also use curly braces. Yeah, this also use this curly braces. So let us try to do it. Okay. Family member age. So this is my variable. It is a dictionary, so I will be using curly braces. Now, for each of my key and value pair, I need a key that will be name. And we have a value that is assigned to that key, that is 19. So, Shriya is my name and 19 is my age. So, Shriya is a key here. Key needs to be unique and there is a value assigned to this. Just like here, name was Rahul, age is 20. So for each key, we have a value here. Okay. Next, I have Mayam, and I need to enclose it in curly basis. No, I'm in quotes. Okay. And he is 14. Next, we have Samriddhi. She is turning. What am I doing? Okay, so what I am doing here is I am storing the name of my family members and the age of each of them, right? So I am using a key and I am using a value assigned with it. So if I print this family member age, what is it going to print, right? Shriya 19, Mayank 14, Samriddhi 21. So this is the key here and there is a value assigned to each key which is represented by this column. It is a colon, right? Yeah. And it is enclosed by this curly braces. And what will happen if I try to use this key for twice? Oh, 62. What is it doing here? It sees that Shriya is coming two times here. So it is just taking the value here and it totally ignores the value from here. Why? Because each of the key needs to be unique. If it is not unique, then it will take the value of that key which comes later. Just as how it is doing it. It is printing Shriya just as the key is, but for value, it is choosing the value that is coming later. Okay, so the key must be unique, and if I further try to change the key, then it won't be possible. Earlier, when we were learning list, I told you that how we can go to that particular index and we can change the value stored there. But if I want to change the key here, it is not possible because dictionary are immutable. Okay, now what if I want to print a particular member here? What if I want to approach a particular key instead of the whole dictionary? Then I will simply write the name of the key. Yeah. So here I write the name of the key that is Mayank and the value stored by Mayank that is 14 is getting printed here. So this is how we approach the value. So this was all about the dictionary data type. Now we are coming to the input and output statement. How we take input here. Okay. So for taking input, so we have finally learned all about the data type. So we are done for that topic. Now we are going to start another topic that is input statement. Yeah. So how we take input. So the input function, this function that is input function is used whenever we need to take a particular input, such as I need a name. So I am going to take an input. Okay. So here, when I run it, name is equal to input. There, if you can see it clearly, it gives us an option where we can write the name. So my name is Shriya, so I will write it and I will press input. I meant I pressed enter, not input. Sorry. So now if I print this name, what will it do? Yeah, let me run it twice. Yeah. So I give it a input, and now it is storing it in this name variable, and now it is printing it. So what happens here? Using this input function, I am giving a string. That input is getting stored in the variable named name. And lastly, when I print this variable, it gives out the value that is stored here. So using this input function, um, we take the data from the user. So the input function pauses execution and promotes the user to enter data. It always returns user input as a string. So this is an important thing here, that the data type that will be returned by input function is always a string. So if I want an integer value, or if I want anything else, then we have to use the type conversion that we learned earlier. Okay. So if I say here name is equal to input, then here it is input name, enter name, then it will prompt us to give our name as input. This string which we are writing inside the input function is stored in the output when it asks for input. So what is it doing now? Input function when runs saves this enter name here, and I'm giving the input. It is getting stored in name, and when I print name, it shows the name I give in input. So user uses the keyboard. From keyboard, the programs gets an input, and then it stores it in a variable. And when I close that variable letter, then it shows the input that was received earlier. So using the input function, we take the input. Okay. Next, we have the output statement. We have been using it for quite a while now. So Python provides a built-in print function that displays a specified message or variable to standard output stream. Whenever we write print something, then that something is get printed here in the output section. So when I write print name, that value stored in name is getting printed in the output section. Right? We have been using it for quite some time now. Okay. One thing that we haven't learned so far is this key parameters. This is sep is equal to, in this double quotes, there is a space in between them, that is the separator between items. Okay. And we also use and is equal to /9. No, it is not slash. What is it called? Wait a minute. Yeah. So if I want that the end character after printing. So when I write a character, and I want that we will write the next character in the next line, then we use a / and n. So let us use here. We have learned to input and output statement, right? So yeah, okay. Let us cover this before I show you the execution. Formatting output and f string. So when we want to print something, like here I printed a variable, right? So if I want to print a variable along with a string, then we use this This is the comma separation method in which we enclose the string in the double quotes, and if I want a variable there, then I use a comma before it. If I wanted another string, then I would use a comma here, and then I would write further. And it automatically inserts spaces between the arguments. It doesn't need us to write this here that we learned. Yeah. We do not have to use a separator here because it automatically inserts a space between them. When we use comma, it includes that space. And next one that we can use is this formatted string, in which we enclose our variable inside a placeholder curly braces. And we have to use this f string before. So we write this f string, then we enclose we use this double quotes and enclose all the things we have to write inside, which may contain the string. And when we have to write a variable, we enclose it with the curly braces. So these are the two methods by which we can show our output or format it. Okay. Now let us do some examples. So here we were taking an input, right? We were using this enter name string for the output, and we are getting a name output. Now let us take another one. Input enter age. So if I run it, what will happen? It is first asking for my name. So I write my name. So now it is saying enter age. So now I enter 9. Right? So in this way, we are taking the input. Now, if I tell you that what is the type of A here, then it will say, then I have to write it again. Is 19, right? Oh, okay. There is no A here. Yeah. Now it will work, but I will have to write it again. So see, for the type of name, the data type is string, and for this age, we also have string. But here, if I say, if I tell you here while adding my age here, 19 is basically an integer. 19 is my age. 19 is an integer. But when we are printing the data type, it is saying that it is a string. Why does it happen? This happens because it always return user input as string. This input function always take any input as a string data type. This is why it shows my age as a string. So what will I have to do here? I will simply use my int function and I will choose my data conversion here. So now once I'll do it again, it won't be string anymore, it is an integer. What happens here? When I enter my age in this, when I write 19 in when I enter, this input takes that value and it stores it with data type string. But this input, this enter function before it changes its data type from string to integer. So now when I print the type of age, it shows integer. So this is how we can convert our data types from when we take the input. Okay. Now coming up to the printing. Okay, so next we have arithmetic operator. The first one is the addition, where we use this plus sign. Then we have the subtraction. Next is the multiplication. We use the asterisk for multiplication. For division, we use the slash and it always results in a float value. For example, here we are doing 10 divided by 5, but the answer is not 2, that is integer, it is 2.0, that is a float value. If we do not want this float value, we can use the float division, that is using this double slashes, and it rounds the value off. Then we have the modulus, which is represented by this percent symbol, and it gives us the remainder. For example, when we divide 10 by 3, we get 1 as a remainder, so this modulus sign will return 1. Then we have the exponentiation. For exponent power, we use double asterisk, that is 2, then double asterisk 5, which means 2 to the power 5, that is 32. So these are all the arithmetic operators which we will use for our mathematical operations. Here are the use of each one of them. We are saying print 10 plus 5, that is 15. Next we have 10 minus 5, that is 5. When we use 10 asterisk 5, asterisk means multiplication, so it will give 50. We are using this slash, that is for division, so it is giving us our answer in float. If I am going to use this double slashes for float division, then it will truncate the decimal part. If I use this modulus, then it will give me the remainder. And if I do use 2 asterisks, then it will use it to give us the power of 2. Okay. Next, we have to understand about the assignment operator. We have learned about this equal to symbol, that is the simple assignment operator. Whenever we have to appoint a value to a particular variable, then we use this symbol. Then we have this plus and equal to operator. That means if I use this operator, then it means for that variable you have to add a particular value to it and then assign it. Similarly, then we have sub and assign. That means you have to first subtract the value, then assign it to the variable. Similarly is the multiple assign and division assign, or mod and assign, or floor and assign, and last one is exponent and assign. So we are basically combining the arithmetic operation with our assignment operator. So we are first doing the arithmetic part and then we are assigning it to our variable. So this is the assignment operator. For example, we have here compound assignment. Okay. So first we are initially assigning x is equal to 10. Then we are doing x plus equal to 5. What does it mean? That for x, whatever x was, you have to first add that value. Add the new value to it and then assign it back to x. So we had x is equal to 10. So it will first add 5 to 10 and then assign this new value to x. So so we will print after plus equal to 5. The x's value changes to 15, right? See here, it is getting changed to 15. And if I will write x asterisk is equal to 2, so we are first doing multiplication by 2 and then we are assigning the value back to x. So now we had x's value as 15. So when I multiply it by 2, 15 2s are 30, and then I assign it back to x. So when I'll print here, the x will be 30. So this was one of the example we have here. Next are some of the practice question. Okay, the first one is identify data types. We have to find data types of 100, 10.5, hello, true, and none. So what do we use whenever we want to check the data type of any variable or any value identifier? We simply use type function, right? So what will we do? We will print type of whatever we want to know. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. It won't take much of them. Okay. Let me, yeah. So we will do this one by one. We first have 100. So what will it print? Int. Okay, why? Because 100 is an integer. We will do the same process with all of them. Right. 100, then we have 10.5. Next, we will have a hello string. Okay. Hello, hello. Next is true. And the last one is none. Yeah. So now we will check the data type of each one of them. 100 is integer, 10.5 is float, hello is a string, true is a boolean value, and none is a none type. So we identified all the data type of this following numbers. Okay. Next we have to do explicit conversion. Convert a string 25 into an integer value using Python function. Okay. So it says, what does it say? It says that we have a string that is 25. How do I know that this is a string? Because I'm enclosing it in double quotes, right? So I have a string 25 and I have to change it into an integer and using a Python function. So how will I change it? I will simply change it using the function int. I will enclose my value inside this int function, and when I will print the type, yeah. If I'll print the type of B now, what will I get? Integer. It was first a string, now it became integer. Why? Because I use this int function, and this is explicit conversion. The third question says programmer write a program that accepts two numbers from user and print their sum. Okay. So if I have to take an input from a user, what do I use? I use this input function. I use this input function. So I will write enter your first number, right? And similarly, I will take another input for the next number, that is enter your second number, right? So we are taking two inputs. What does the question say? Write a program that accepts two number, okay, and print their sum. So we have to find the sum. So the sum value will be equal to sum number. Sum of this number is equal to a plus b, right? And now I have to print it out. I have to give the output. So I will use this print function. And I can do it by two ways. We have learned two methods for this. First one I can write is sum of two numbers is, and I will use this comma and I will then write the name of my variable. Or the second way that I can do this is I can use rf string and I will write all of them directly inside the double quotes. And once I have to write any variable, then I will enclose it inside this curly braces. Now let us write it. Yeah. So the first number I will take 30. Okay, the next number I'm taking is 67. Uh-oh. Yeah. So here what did it do? It took 30 and it took 67, but both of them are in integer in the string format, right? Whenever we take an input by this input function, it always takes the string. So so when we do a plus b, it is basically concatenating them together. So what I have to do to correct it is I will use type conversion and I will change the data type. So it won't be string and it will be integer, and then it will add up. Yeah, let us do it again. Now is the correct answer. We are getting 97. It adds 30 plus 67 and it gets 97. So we are taking the input and we are printing it. We can do it by any way we want. So this will be our answer. We take two input and we sum them together. Yeah. This will be the answer for this question. Next is predict, print this. Okay. So this is basically for our operator section. This double slash is used for floor division, right? So 10 and this 2 backslashes 3 will means that we have to do the floor division between 10 and 3 and we will get 3 as the answer. Next is print 10 modulus 3. It means that we need the remainder. When we divide 10 by 3, we will get the remainder 1. Next is print 2 double asterisk 4. That means we are denoting the exponents, right? So 2 to the power 4 is 16. So the answer for all of them will be 3, 1 and 16. Let us check now, okay? Print 10, 3. This is the first one. Then we have print modulus 3. And the last one says 2 double asterisk 4. Let us see. So it says 3, 1 and 16. So our output were right. What we predicted is right. So these are the practiced questions that we did here. So what we learned here is the data type conversion. Data types and the conversion, we learned about list, tuple, set, dictionary. We learned about the input function and the print function. We learned about f strings output formatting. Then we learned about the different kind of operators. So this was all in this video. In the next video, we will be learning about logical operators, membership operators, and then identity operators and the number system. So see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.